So I write a lot of pieces. Just improvisation-wise, I was just more motivated by more of the rhythm and shapes. You have another question?
Yes, I do. Can you talk about your grip? I noticed that it was.
I got injured quite badly yesterday playing with Michael. We did some Thelonious Monk tune, and I always play Burton.
Yeah.
But very often I back up a little bit to do some kind of fake cross grip.
Yeah, I was like,
which would be more like this, right?
Yeah.
I've never really practiced muscle. I never really worked on that, and I just haven't put the time into this grip. And I'd like to learn it, but I use Burton 90% of the time, and then because my right hand got a little injured, I was backing off and doing my, twisted alter.
I was talking to her about it. We're like, Steve uses Burton.
There's a whole, I'm definitely a Burton person, but you see, yesterday I was playing too hard. Good question. You haven't, yeah, you did, but you can ask another question.
Can you sign a face afterward?
Maybe. The Avenger guy. Does that say Avenged? It is? Okay. We covered all of them. Me and Chris are going to play after you ask your question.
You ever play drum set?
I kind of do a hybrid. I think I mentioned it, or this is my bass drum that whenever I take a drum set anywhere, I use this bass drum, which is really a big frame drum. It's a 23.5 by 7.
I was wondering what that was when you're playing conga.
23.5 by 7. It's a really old marching drum from the 40s. And then I use the bongos for mount toms, right? This is like my mounted toms here. And then I use the cajon is the seat, right? And then very often I play piccolo snare drum, a little tiny snare, and a high, and I like micro hi-hats, like those little 10-inch hi-hats. And I have a couple flat ride cymbals and stuff. So I play a drum set that's sort of twisted. Very often I'll put a conga by the hi-hat too. So I can do the conga and bongo combination, but still keep this kick drum and a hi-hat. Yeah? Do you guys want to hear tortoise efficiency?
Yes.
Wait, tortoise?
This is one I wrote for Chris's teacher and me, Michael. Dr. Waldrop up at EWU, we put out a CD, or he kind of put out the CD. And I sent it to Chris and said, hey, let's try this. And it's, it's just got, it's kind of groupings, like it's grouped in phrases like, this is like an 11 grouping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And a 9 grouping, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And a 7 grouping, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So an 11, a 9, and a 7 would be, yeah, dup, 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 dup. So a 5 is dup, 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 dup. A 7 is dup, 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 dup. A 9, dup, 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 dup. 11, dup, 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 right? So this piece is kind of a lot about 5s and 7s. There's a few 11s and a few 13s. Well, there's no 13s in here. It's mostly 11s, 9s, and 7s. A couple 5s thrown in for good measure. Any questions before we play tortoise? Oh, of course you. You have another question?
Oh, you can actually erase Lauren.
Those of you that, just real fast before I erase this, do you all your paperwork? Turn your paperwork in.
Oh, man.
You got that on film. Excellent job, Chris. Yeah, man. Okay, so we'll play tortoise efficiency, which starts out with 5. Yeah? And then you'll hear the groupings.
play the first. You play the first.
I'll do the first fill, you do the second, and on the repeat, I'll do the third, and you do the fourth.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just Brad, Chris, Brad, Chris.
Okay.
How about, so it's like we're gonna do a little slower, dup, 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 dup. So you guys, the first lick, notice this first lick, it's basically 3 5s, but then the last note, that would equal 16, right? So one bar is gonna be dup, 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 right?
And which reminds us, that exercise we do, remember the last measure of accent shift, right? So this is a practical application of an exercise.
Good point. Practical applications of learning all these different numbers. Hopefully you'll think it's musical, I hope. Not just math. And then the next bar 3, which